The cracks in ODM are becoming more eminent with the conflict between Embakasi East MP Babu Owino and Opondo Kaluma escalating from what Peter George Kaluma says that there is nothing much that Babu Owino has done to contribute to the growth of the ODM party. And in the X platform, he even said and told Babu Owino, you have just been elected into 2 terms by the help of Raila Amolo Odinga just for shouting Tibim and Tialala. Oh my God. And he even calls Babu Owino bro kid. You understand? First of all, let us try and check this fact. Is it true that Babu Owino has just been elected 2 times by the aid of Raila Amolo Odinga for just saying Tibim and Tialala? No. At the recent ranking in terms of performance in the constituencies, Babu Owino emerged number 1. And it is not only in the papers or in the ranking that is being ranked number 1. Even the constituents themselves are attesting to the fact that Ongili Babu Owino is actually working and delivering for them day in, day out. It is even emerging that the reason as to why there is a conflict and betrayal in ODM with regards to Babu Owino is because other MPs, they take their briefcases with CDF funds to Raila Amolo Odinga, whereas Babu Owino refuses to do that. In the contrary, he decides to give development to the people he represents. It is also emerging that even in these andamanos that we've always been seeing around, the person who is always behind choreographing, using the funds to making sure that these demonstrations take place, even with regards to the Jacaranda ones, it is Babu Owino. Those are all efforts that are being watered by George Peter Kaluma, telling Babu Owino, I don't see what you are helping the ODM party with. Let me retrieve this tweet by MP George Peter Kaluma, who tells Babu Owino, Baba Raila Odinga has enabled you to serve 2 terms as member of parliament just for shouting Tialala Tibim. What more does Baba owe you, kid bro? I have quoted verbatim. Now, the response from Babu Owino was, ODM party, so many youth and myself sacrificed a lot and used our resources in the party over the years. Our pay is betrayal and blackmail. It is okay. Tomorrow is another day. I feel the pain that Babu Owino has being referred to as a person who's just been voted for shouting Tibim and Tialala, and those are slogans that they have been using day in, day out in their political rallies. It is so unfair if you ask me. I understand Babu might have his shortcomings, but at whatever cost, they do say mgala muwe na haki umpe. Give credit where it's due. There are things I might not agree with Babu Owino, but when it comes to delivering to the people of Embakasi East, I trust and I believe this guy is the best choice that the constituents of Embakasi East constituency elected, and they voted him in, not because Baba Raila Amolo Odinga lifted his arm, no, because of merit. Babu Owino is somebody who has a clear sense of mind, who can stand and speak for himself. Remember the other day when he even said that if Raila Amolo Odinga will want everybody in ODM to support William Samoei Ruto, he wouldn't do that, because if you want to support William Samoei Ruto, you really have to suspend your brain cells, meaning somebody else has to carry that brain for you in order for you to support William Samoei Ruto, because he is of retrogressive governance and a governance that is too oppressive to the people. When you say that the economy is growing, it should be felt by the common man that the economy is growing, just like the constituents of Embakasi East are feeling development and infrastructural growth from Babu Owino. Therefore, by saying that this guy has been elected purely because of the noise he makes or shouting Tibim Mtialala, it is the most retrogressive sentiment you can ever give to your equal in terms of being a member of parliament. Anyway, the tea is too hot and it must be taken before the dust settles. Why? I went to Oko's Twitter or X platform to get more juiced on these by saying that Babu Owino has not contributed to the growth of ODM. By the way, the Mombasa governor will not have been elected, allegedly, if it wasn't for Babu Owino. This seat was going to Hassan Omar very early in the morning. And the person who gave this information to Oko, she says, is Moha, the MP for Nyali. So, the day that Raila Odinga helicopter was stormed back in 2022 during the campaigns, he was with Babu Owino. During the all andamanos of the Sufuria movement, Babu was the one organizing and funding, especially the Jacaranda ones. So, the problem of Babu Owino is known, not taking CDF briefcases to one Raila Amolo Odinga. It is said, allegedly, that Opondo Kaluma is used to having that CDF taken to Baba, and the change, he uses it to go and have some story, some experience with some, allegedly, some barmaids somewhere, and that is where he allegedly gets gonorrhea sugu, which he also went to treat in India. How factual that is, I don't know. But again, also Babu Owino touched on that. In his last tweet, he asked Honorable George Peter Kaluma, by the way, did your gonorrhea heal? And just to even give more and more meat into these bone, Awako says, Kaluma naye akishapeana CDF sadaka, the rest anakula nayo anything that has a hairy hole. Okay, I know what that is. You also know. If you don't get it, forget about it. So, when you become a performing MP, you are seen as a traitor in the party. You are betrayed. Just the other day, the head of the party, Raila Amolo Odinga, in front of our screens, during the prayer meeting that was organized by ODM women, just days before the AUC chairperson elections, Raila Amolo Odinga endorsed Johnson Sakaja, the governor for Nairobi County and a member of the UDA party, for 2027 gubernatorial seat. Whereas the person who has been fighting tooth and nail, the person whose loyalty is unquestionable in the party, Babu Owino, was sidelined. How do you expect him to behave? And I liked the way Babu responded to this when he was asked. He said, you see, a father might have so many children. He might love them with different percentages. But it seems like that father has liked one kid so much. Unfortunately, that kid is not from their house. In that party, as I talked in one of my videos, the link is here. I said, and you could be visible. Sakaja came putting on a scarf, which was orange in color, representing support for ODM. Yellow tie, paying allegiance to UDA. Yellow wristband, saying I'm still a member of the UDA with roots. You see, the hidden things that speak a lot. I bet most of you didn't see that wristband. When he began addressing the audience that was there, he took away the tie, saying, I could be slowly getting into ODM. He never took off the wristband. And the unseen, the untalked, the unspoken is what I mostly dwell on. That meant a lot than what was visible. He cannot be fully in ODM. Those were mere political rhetorics. So how then could Raila Amolo Odinga bestow endorsement to Sakaja and kick away Babu Owino? Could it be true about these CDF briefcases? Could it be true? Because up to now, I take it as an allegation. Anyway, give credit where it's due. Babu Owino deserves better. He's fought for the party. And that is why, as I end, I will give you this quote. A bad system doesn't appear wrong to those who benefit from it. They do everything to defend it to the detriment of a larger society. Isn't it what we are seeing? What was used to be considered as the opposition today is in bed with the government. And they are reaping everything in it. Just the other day, the key positions in the parliamentary committees, where are they going to? Back to Azimio. Just after Raila Amolo Odinga lost in the AUC chairperson elections. Broad-based government indeed. Who will fight for Kenyans? It is us to speak about it. Give me your thought in the comment section below. If you're watching from my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe and press the notification button. So anytime that we are live, you'll be the very first person to be notified. Ahmed Khalif is my name for the Unscripted Talks here in Durb Radio. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Kwa timba kali za Afrika, Durb Radio ndio mpango mzima.